Hey everyone, welcome back to Playing Quietly. My name is Ryan, and today we're going to be discussing the most recent update for the First Descendant, which is, of course, the now infamous Invasion update. Now, this is actually my third time trying to make this video. I made two other ones and ended up trashing them due to a fluctuating opinion, but now I feel comfortable kind of giving my 2 cents on the topic. So right out of the box, we actually got a lot of really good quality of life updates, such as a change to the way XP works. We got some changes to the UI, more particularly in the way that our reactors are displayed. We even got some nice changes from the Battle Pass. There are a lot more cosmetics that we can unlock throughout the season. Void Shard missions are now going to drop enough shards that we are able to complete a full mission. And one of my favorite changes is them getting rid of some of the more tedious missions like the escort or the stand on point missions. However, a few short hours after the patch was released, we then had access to the actual invasion dungeons, and they proved to be absolutely terrible. The mechanics are quite tedious. They kind of fly in the face of what Nexon had kind of been saying their new design philosophy of wanting to have a more run-and-gun style of gameplay. Something that I found really odd was Nexon's description of these puzzle mechanics as being intended for kind of speed runs, and all they really did was slow down gameplay to a snail's pace. And not only that, but the enemies really seem to have a pretty big buff to them. And only adding fuel to the fire was the fact that Haley, the new Descendant, was going to take an extremely long time to unlock. However, just as I was going to bed last night, Nexon did put a post out that was addressing all of these issues. So right out of the gate here, they do make an apology and assure the community that they are indeed working on the issues that people are having. The summary here says that they are making modifications in invasion dungeons and invasion reinforcements. They're going to be reducing the difficulty of the puzzle mechanics, buffing inversion reinforcement, and deleting penalties in next week's 1.1.1 update. They're going to be improving the Haley farming process by increasing Haley's equipment material drops in this week's 1.1.0b hotfix. They are going to be improving the development process by implementing an FGT or focus group, and they are going to improve community communications. Now, these first 2 bullet points here are what everyone was expecting, or at the very least hoping to hear. Now, when it comes to the focus group, I think there is a lot of potential for this to be a good thing. Personally, what I would like to see is more of a PTR, but I suppose this is maybe the next best option, especially if it is open to people within the community who really know their stuff. And then the final note here of the improved community communication, that's an interesting one because I feel like Nexon is actually pretty good at communicating with the community, especially in a respectful way. As a kind of a Helldivers refugee, coming from the Helldivers community where the dev team, or at the very least their PR team, is very antagonistic towards their fan base, I gotta say, for all the bad things that I have heard about Nexon, their communication has been decent, I would say. So let's move a little bit into some of the more specific details of what they're going to be talking about here. So they start out by saying, for invasion dungeons to provide faster and better experiences, we will lower the difficulty of the puzzle mechanics and will modify the monster spawning. So that was one of my biggest complaints across the board, is not only the amount of monsters that were spawning, but also the types of monsters. So for example, more often than not in one of the dungeons from yesterday, when I got on the platform, I was getting sniped by, I think, 3 different heavy-hitting type monsters at once. And the amount of times that I would immediately get on the thing and jump off, I was at about 1/4 health, and I have a pretty decently tanky character. So that's definitely a move in the right direction. More specifically, for the Order of Truth, to make it easier to remember, the pattern will be simplified, and RK pillars without patterns will be deleted. The directions of the RK pillars will be adjusted to look towards the battle arena, and drone patterns will be designed vertically. Also, to make the gameplay experience better, tumors that cover the patterns and the ones that block the door will be easier to destroy. Also, tumors that were once destroyed will not be regenerated. So those are all fantastic changes that are going to make things a lot more tolerable. Next up here we have the Legion of Darkness. It says, for the Legion of Darkness, the occupation time of an RK tile will be shortened, and the tiles will be rearranged so that they are more easily distinguishable. The number of wrong RK tiles will be reduced, and the self-destructive monsters which steals the RK tile will be deleted. In color puzzles, symbols will be added so players with color blindness will more easily enjoy the game. Lastly, barrier HP for named monsters will be weakened. Again, all really good changes, especially adding in the symbols for people who suffer from color blindness. I saw more than a few people were really annoyed by the fact that they were colorblind and essentially were completely unable to finish these missions. And they finish it up here saying, just like other legions, the puzzle mechanics for Legion of Immortality will be modified in an easier way. So that's definitely a really good sign there that they are looking for community suggestions and feedback. Let me know in the comments down below how you guys think they should modify the Legion of Immortality. And now they just go into the timeline saying that the modification in difficulty for invasion dungeons and invasion reinforcements will be fixed next Thursday on the patch 111 update. Throughout the update, we will try our best to let everyone fully enjoy the invasion dungeon in a more comfortable way. After that, we are planning to add matchmaking systems so users can play the invasion dungeons as multiplayer mode. That is another really big complaint that I saw going around the community, is this is intended to be a multiplayer game that you play with 3 other people, be it in a group or with randoms, and then they go ahead and introduce a seasonal mechanic that forces you to play solo, which is interesting because I almost feel like the tuning of the enemies was that of assuming that there were 4 people in the dungeon. And we'll talk a little bit more about my conspiracy theory behind that a little bit towards the end of the video. Then they go on to say that the drops for Haley's research materials in the invasion and infiltration operations will be increased. Our dev team wants everyone, including our users who only have limited time, to finish Haley in 12 days on average. Also, we wanted to better support users who can invest a lot of time to farm Haley faster through the infiltration operations. However, to accommodate opinions that Haley's farming takes too long, we are planning to increase the drop rate of Haley's research materials about 2 times faster. They go on to say that the drop rate for Haley's research materials will be updated this Saturday on hotfix 110B. They go on to talk about the focus groups, saying, furthermore, we will improve our development process to meet expectations of our players in future updates. We are considering having FGT or focus group testing after development is completed, or inviting players to gather feedback before the update is released and incorporate that feedback into the final release. So again, this is a very positive thing, I think. The focus group is not the way I would go. I would really urge Nexon to either have a PTR, or if you want to do a focus group, please try and choose people who will give you honest feedback and not just yes people who will tell you what you want to hear. They wrap things up by saying, "Our dev team has been listening to various opinions about the first major update from the community. We will continue to respond quickly to issues, communicate improvement directions transparently, and do our best to ensure that Descendants can enjoy the First Descendant for a long time." So all in all, I think this is probably the best possible response that we could have hoped for from Nexon. They are going to do their very best to change the really poorly received mechanics to make them a bit more tolerable. They are going to be fixing the grind for Haley, and they're talking about implementing some kind of testing ground, be that a focus group or a PTR, to gather feedback before releasing things into the wild. Alright guys, so just some final thoughts here. I think that we did get some really good quality of life updates in this first big update here. And despite how poorly the invasion mechanics have gone, it's nice to see that they are at least listening to their player base and not kind of just huffing their own farts like some other studios tend to do. Alright, that's all I have for you guys for today. Thank you so much for joining us. If you found this video helpful or entertaining, hopefully I have earned your subscription. Don't forget to check back for more videos. I know I haven't been exactly uploading every single day, but things have definitely been crazy in the house lately, so, you know, bear with me. In any case, we will see you guys next time. Have yourselves a good one.